welcome to the Cozy Sky Knits podcast, episode 4. Today is Sunday, April 27th. My name is Elizabeth. I'm coming to you from Georgetown, Texas, where I live with my mother, Nancy, and my 2 senior cockapoos, Sullivan and Griffin, who occasionally may make an appearance in the podcast as they wander around. If you are a new viewer, welcome in. I'm so happy to have you here. Hopefully you'll enjoy your time spent, and if you do, please feel free to subscribe at the end or give me a thumbs up and comment. I'd love to hear about you. If you're returning, thanks for coming back again. I so enjoy the community that we're building here. I love reading all the comments. I try to reply to all of them, and it just really tickles my heart to interact with everyone. So thank you very much for that. This is primarily a knitting podcast. Occasionally we'll talk about some quilting, some needle felting, my circular sock machine, I don't know, any other fiber goodness that might come into my head, and then also a little life chit chat. So we'll just follow the pretty much standard format of what I'm wearing, finished objects, works in progress. I have a few acquisitions today, and I don't know, that's about it. We'll wrap it up. So grab a nice beverage and a project, and let's get started. Today I'm wearing my Tenya from Caitlin Hunter of Boyland Knitworks. I knit this several years ago in Suburban Stitcher Pure Sock in the colorway Masquerade. Diane from Suburban Stitcher lives in the Houston area, and she's a local Texas dyer. She makes some really beautiful yarns, and she's one of my favorites. I have a lot of her stuff in my stash, and I've knit with a lot of her stuff over the years. So this sweater was knit bottom up, and because of that, I put it off for quite some time. I knew I wanted this sweater, but I don't know what, I just was so used to top down, and I was just kind of afraid, I guess, to try bottom up. But I had the yarn and the pattern in a bag for a long time, and I kind of missed the whole wave of when everyone was initially knitting it. But finally, I really wanted the sweater, so I decided to cast it on. And I don't know why I put it off for so long, because it really was fun to knit. I enjoyed knitting the lace on the bottom, and it wasn't bad doing it from the bottom up. You could, put it on, try it on tubing, and try it on. Obviously try it on tubing, try it on to see where the dimensions were falling on your body, and it was no problem for me. I really actually kind of enjoyed the process. So the sweater has this really beautiful lace at the bottom. You can see it wasn't too difficult at all. I just put when I knit, I put stitch markers in between each repeat so I can see where I'm going. I don't use lifelines too much anymore. But yeah, so I enjoy this sweater. I wear it a lot over dresses. Like I have a tank dress that I'll wear underneath it, or I'll wear it with skirts, slacks, high-waisted jeans, whatever. But yeah, I really do get quite a bit of wear out of it. It's the pure silk from Diane, is 100% superwash merino. So I made a size 3, and the gauge is 22 stitches and 26 rows per 4 inches. So I knit it on a US size 3.25 millimeters. And then I think the ribbing I used a US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeters. But yeah, it's a real nice drapey fabric, good for Texas weather. So I'm able to get quite a bit of use out of it. And then my friend here is wearing a shawl that I test knit for Joji Locatelli. It is the It Brings You Peace shawl, and I knit this in Lana Grossa Setsuri in the colorway black. That's the accent color here. And the main color is also from Suburban Stitcher in her Surrey silk base, which has 328 yards per 50 grams in the colorway Whisper, which is a really pretty, almost a neutral, but it definitely is a pale gray tone to it, real light. So it's a cool tone neutral, and I really get a lot of wear out of that shawl. It's lightweight. It's just good to take the chill off in the air conditioning here in Texas, inside restaurants and in offices and things when I'm at meetings. So I really do like that. Okay, let's talk about some finished objects. I only have one finished object this week. I've had a lot of knitting time, but I kind of got distracted by a few things. So I think I mentioned last time that my mother's birthday was coming up. Her birthday was the day after Easter, so it was on Sunday, the 21st, and she turned 81. So I was feeling really guilty about not having made her anything last year, so I decided to go ahead and cast on something quickly and get a project off my needles for her for a gift. So she had mentioned to me that she wanted a vest for in the winter because she gets so cold. So I made the Cruzburg by Rebekah Mauser from the Lionel's 52 Weeks of Easy Knits. And that's this fabulous book. Highly recommend this book if you don't have it. It's I've made I think 4 or 5 things from this book already. It's simple patterns, wearable patterns, good for beginners. There's some stuff in there if you just need a quick win, kind of thing. Really cute stuff in there. I highly recommend that book. But anyway, so here is the Cruzburg vest that I made, which is quite bright, but my mom wanted to wear it over the top of a denim shirt or a white blouse or a t-shirt. And it's basically a round neck crew neck vest with ribbing on the bottom. It is knit from the top down. The pattern actually is done in stripes, which is super cute, but my mom wanted a solid. And she, surprisingly, if you all recall, if you watched my previous episode, I'm not sure, like episode 1 or 2, I showed this big cone of yarn that I got from Purl Soho, and it is Purl Soho knitting yarn, and it's 100% merino wool. It has 2,187 yards per 1,000 grams, so it's a lot of yarn. I love it. It's like almost like a neon coral. It's beautiful. My mom loved it, and I also had this old, in my old stash, some Surrey that was from Artistic Lily, who no longer dies, unfortunately. And this was the Snuggle Me Surrey base, which has 328 yards per 50 grams. Yeah, 50 grams, sorry. And this is the colorway Hot Lips. So it was also this really pretty neon coral, just a touch darker than the cone. And my mom loved that. I thought it might be a little bright for her, but she loved it. And it doesn't look as bright in person as it's coming off on camera, but it's actually a little bit lighter in person. Can't quite get the gist of it. Maybe that's closer. So anyway, so that's my finished object. It's fairly heavy. It'll be really warm for her this winter for sure. I knit it using a US size 7 for the body and a US 5, which is 3.75 millimeters for the ribbing. I made the size 2 with the gauge of 18 stitches and 29 rows per 4 inches. And that was the pattern gauge. So I knit to gauge on this. And I don't think I made any modifications at all, other than I didn't do any striping. So real easy, quick off the needles, and she loves it. So that I will call a win. So that's my only true new finished object, but I do have something that is finished that I finished a while ago that a friend of mine recently asked me if I had ever shown it. And I may have shown it on the Purl in Texas podcast, but I haven't shown it on this one. So I thought I would go ahead and show it. And that is my Soho Square by Jackie Rose. So as you probably all have heard of the half and half triangle wrap from Purl Soho, Jackie Rose kind of released a new version of it, doing different striping sequences in that, and she called it Soho Square. And I went ahead and bought that pattern, and it's one of those things where I saw her sample and I just loved the colors immediately. And it wasn't so much the design, it was more the colors that drew me in. And I had wanted to knit the Purl Soho half and half triangle wrap. Hadn't done it. I bought a bunch of linen quill, just never made anything. And so when I saw her colors, I was like, oh, I have to knit that. So I went ahead. I'll show you. Hopefully you can see that. It's very large. I made the size large, and it's linen linen quill from Purl Soho, which is a really beautiful yarn. It's 50% wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen. It's a fingering weight, 439 yards per 100 grams. I knit it in the colors Raw Sienna, which is this beautiful gold, and you can see the like white flecks from that 15% linen. It just gives a beautiful texture. So this is Raw Sienna. Then the blue here, real dark blue, is called Dark Denim. And then the bright colors are Pink Pop and Super Orange. And I just thought the whole combination was just beautiful. It is so big. I actually don't wear it as a shawl. I don't know, because it's just so big, but well, I can't say I don't wear it. I'll occasionally wear it as a shawl, but that's when I know I'm going to be really cold. But I use it all the time as like a lap blanket. If I'm just chilled from the air conditioning, or in the mornings, or in the winter, I would just throw it over my legs when I was sitting on the couch, kind of thing. And I've actually even put it over the top of me when I was cold at night and couldn't quite get warm this past winter when I was sleeping at night. So I do love it. I think it's beautiful. I would recommend it, either the Purl Soho version or the Soho Square from Jackie Rose version, to anyone. It's very calming knit. It's relaxing. It's a lot of knitting, but it keeps you engaged without having to think, and it really helps to calm you down. So if that's the type of project you're looking for, I would highly recommend this. All right, moving on to what's on my needles. I made a little bit of progress on my socks that I showed my last podcast in episode 3, the Berries and Bird Tracks by Yucca from the 52 Weeks of Socks Volume 2. And so I think I had maybe a 1.5 repeats done last time of the lace, and I've now completed 3, and I'm ready to start the gusset. So they are just taking me a little bit of time because they're kind of fiddly with the different charts in that. And it's socks, so it's tiny. I'm doing them on my 9-inch Xiaogu circulars, and I think I mentioned this before, but I use one of the 3-inch tips on in my left hand, and the right hand I use the 2-inch tip, which I really like that circumference for knitting, and it's the most comfortable for my hands. But when I'm doing this detailed lace, it can get a little bit tight, and so my hands get a little bit cramped up. Sometimes I have to take breaks, and I can't work on them for a long period of time. But I knew going into this that these were going to be a slow project, and they are. So I have to be okay with that, even though I think they're beautiful, and when they're finished, I think they're going to be something that I get a lot of wear out of. So, and I'm knitting these in the Farmer Daughters fiber in her bear paw sock base in the color Matte Mardigan. And I'm using I think I said US size 1, 2.25 millimeters, making a size 2 with the gauge of 32 stitches and 46 rows per 4 inches. The Mad Mardigan bear paw sock is comprised of 70% merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon. So it's a really nice base. I am really enjoying this. Is my first time working with this base, and I'm really enjoying it. So I will be buying more of that and making more socks out of it. The next project I'm working on is a continuation. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I've shown it on several podcasts now. This is my wide rib wrap. It's a tongue twister from Purl Soho, and it is done in good wool in the color Barn Door, and their tussock, which is the mohair silk base, in the colorway Pink Pop, and it's making this beautiful marled fabric. And I'm about 3/4 of the way through with my 3rd skein of the silk mohair, and also a little bit less on the 3rd skein of the good wool because there's more yardage per ball in that. but it calls for 4. I definitely don't think I'm going to knit the full 4. I may do like 3.5 because it's getting pretty long and I don't want it to overpower me. And then I figure I can use the leftover yarn to make a hat or some fingerless gloves or something like that would be really nice. So continuing to work on that daily. But it is what it is. It's going to not change much till it's done. The next project I've been working on is my rose cardigan, which I also showed on previous podcasts, but I did start another quadrant because you knit it in 4 quadrants. It's by Andrea Mowry of Drea, Renee Knits, and it's done in Liane Merino Sport. And this is how far I've gotten on the 2nd quadrant. So the colorways I'm using are Damask, Winter Garden, Rose Quartz, and Dusk. And I'm using a US 4 for the main body. The ribbing I think will be done in a US 2, which is 2.75 millimeters. Sorry, the US 4 is a 3.5 millimeter. And the gauge, I'm making a size small, and the gauge I'm getting is 26 stitches and 36 rows per 4 inches, which is also the pattern gauge. So, and I think I mentioned last time that I had actually tried the sample on in this of Andrea's at a knitting retreat. So I'm pretty confident that it's going to fit me nicely. Okay, then I also cast on something new. I told you I was distracted a little bit. So I think in the first episode, I wore my Wilfreda by Wenche Roald, and I love that sweater, and so much so that I remembered I had some yarn that I bought a couple of years ago that I got on clearance. I think it was being discontinued. I got some on clearance, and it is from Araucania Hausco. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it's in the colorway Twilight Blue. And I remembered that I had purchased this yarn and I got a sweater's quantity, actually probably 2 sweaters quantity of this. And I put it away when I moved, got put away somewhere, and I couldn't find it. But I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking that would be such a pretty Wilfreda. And so I finally found it last week and I cast on a new Wilfreda. And I'm also holding it double with Knitting for Olive Mohair in the colorway Lavender Blue, which is a really pretty, I call this like that French blue. That's what it reminds me of, that French blue. I'm not a huge blue person, but for some reason I love this color. So anyway, I cast on, and here's the yoke. You can see this is knit. You start at the neck with the ribbing, and then you work your way out in this beautiful circular yoke with this really pretty lace and cable pattern. Simple lace pattern like garter stitch and that, and then cable pattern. And I'm halfway through the cable pattern, and then I'll repeat this kind of little garter and, I don't know, lace pattern there after that. So it's making a really beautiful fabric. I don't know if you can see the halo. It's gorgeous. So I think I'm really gonna like this. Like I said, not usually a blue person, but occasionally there's something that just grabs me, and this is one of those colors. So I'm really excited about this. And I just love knitting the sweater. It's kind of like the ranunculus. It's that you want to make a bunch of them once you've made one. So I highly recommend the pattern. I'm making the size medium again, which is the gauge I'm getting is 16 stitches and 24 rows per 4 inches. And I'm using a US 9, for, which is 5.5 millimeters for the body, and a US 7, which is 4.5 millimeters for the ribbing. However, when I cast on the neck, and I did this on my orange one too, I used a US 6, which is 4.0 millimeters, because I did not want the neck to be stretched out. I like a closer fitting neck on the sweater, and that orange one fit me so well. So I did that again with this one. What else can I say? This yarn is 100% merino. It's not superwash. It's just 100% merino, and it's very, very nice. 454 yards per 100 grams. And then the knitting for olive mohair in the, like I said, the colorway lavender blue, 70% mohair and 30% silk, 246 yards per 50 grams. So, and fairly reasonable price point on that. So yeah, I'm excited to continue working on this. It'll probably come off my needles pretty quickly because I do enjoy knitting it so much. So I'm sure I'm going to have a hard time putting it down and working on my other things. So that's pretty much it for my works in progress. So we will now talk about some acquisitions. I was so excited, as I've mentioned, I'm a huge fan of the line of books, the 52 Weeks of, and the new 52 Weeks of Scrap Yarn came out. And so I ordered this from one of my local yarn stores, Knitting ATX, which is a newer yarn store in Austin, Texas. So I was really happy to support them, and I had them ship it because I was going to be traveling, and they dropped it in the mail, and I got it really quickly. So I love it. I've had a chance to kind of look through everything. I'm very tempted to cast something on, but I'm trying to get through some of my other whips first. So we'll see how good I can be. I don't know. But there's just a lot of really, really cute patterns in here. I love several of the sweaters, and there's some gloves in here that I just, like fingerless mitts, that I just think are so stinking cute. I can't find them right now, but there's just some really beautiful techniques and things, and some socks. I think these socks are gorgeous. So I have a lot of scraps of fingering weight, so I think, and I have a lot of mini skeins that I've gotten from Advents that I haven't used yet, and so I'm really looking forward to maybe using some of those in these projects from here. These are also really interesting socks, I thought. Are done, and I'm not sure how the construction is. I haven't read through the pattern yet, but I just thought they were just really interesting to look at. So yeah, so I highly recommend that. But oh, here's those fingerless mitts I saw. Now these are knit and crochet, and I just think they are so fun. My sister would actually really love these. I knit some stuff for her. She works for a Waldorf school out in California, in Lake Tahoe. She's a principal, and they have a fundraiser at Christmas, like a Christmas market fundraiser. And so I knit a bunch of stuff last year for her for the auction. They had a silent, I think it was a silent auction. So I knit a bunch of stuff for her. Well, I wouldn't say a bunch, but about 6 items, some hats and gloves, and a couple other things. I think maybe did I give socks? I can't remember. Oh no, a scarf and a cowl. So yeah, I knit maybe 6 things for her. And so I'm thinking maybe this year I'll do something like that too. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. See how much time I have. Maybe if I get started early. Last year she told me in November that she needed it like in 2 weeks. I was like, oh my goodness. So that was tough, but this year I have a little more time to prepare. But I'm thinking that the Waldorf school is so creative, and you know, they teach the kids to knit and everything. They teach them to make their own knitting needles. So I think that something like those fingerless gloves with all the scrappy look, they'd really enjoy out at that school. So we'll see. So that's my book. Then I also got some yarn. I know I'm not supposed to be buying yarn, but I am knitting through my stash. So I don't know. I guess I feel okay about it. But I have wanted to try this Purl Soho quartz base, which is 65% merino wool and 35% Surrey alpaca. And they had this green color on sale, and then the color is lime icy, and I just thought it was such a pretty spring green, and I love green. So I got some of that. I think I got a sweater's quantity of that. And then I also, because I wasn't sure which green I wanted, I also got this green veil, which is more about like a Kelly green. I think they're both pretty. So I don't know if I'll hold them with mohair or knit them by themselves. I'm not sure. I know I'm anticipating that you'll get really good drape with this yarn. So I don't know if anyone's knit with it already and you have experience. Let me know what you made and how you like the yarn as far as drape and feel. It feels really nice. So I know the feel, but as far as drape, I'm thinking it's probably going to have a really nice drape because of that alpaca in there. And to go with, the rest of my cone, because I want to make a cardigan for myself. So I ordered some mohair to go with it. Not quite as bright as this Surrey, but I ordered the Ito Sensei in the colorway Hydrangea. So you can see the comparison. This is a little bit pinker, less coral, more pink, and deeper. So I'm curious to see how it will change the yarn. So I'll probably start swatching that, but I don't think I'll cast on the cardigan for a while. I don't know, maybe like in July or something. We'll see. But so I got a sweater quantity of this. And then I had ordered some cashmere. I had always wanted to try the Nordic Yarn Eco Cashmere, and they had a sale, I don't know when, but a while ago. Maybe it's still on sale, I'm not sure. And so I ordered actually 3 colors. And I ordered the color, this yellow, bright yellow color. And I think I'm going to make a vest or a slip over of some sort. Yellow is not my color, but I think I discovered a couple years ago I made a bright yellow cardigan that I absolutely love. And as long as I'm wearing it with white underneath or a dark color or something, then that contrasts the yellow. And as long as it's kind of a brighter yellow, I think I can get away with it. And I think this yellow will be okay on me. I don't know, we'll see. I think a vest would be a good thing because I can wear a white shirt under it, or even a denim. So I don't know. I got, I forget how many skeins I got. I think I got enough to make a vest though. And this is really kind of neat because it's 50% recycled cashmere and then 50% virgin cashmere. And it's 150 meters per 50 grams. So I got the yellow, and then I got a 10 pack, so quite a bit, sweater quantity of this navy blue, which will probably be a gift for my mother. She might hear me. And then I also got a 10 pack of the dark brown, which is this really deep chocolate brown. And I want a cardigan out of this as well, I think. I think that's what I'm leaning towards, is a cardigan. I love that comeback cardigan that Andrea Mowry released. This was it last week, I think. I bought that pattern, so I think it's so cute. Maybe I'll do that, or I'm not sure. I have to swatch and see what kind of gauge I get, but yeah, so we'll see. I think that's it for my acquisitions, so not too bad. Other than that, I don't know. I hope everyone had a nice Easter if they celebrated. If not, I just hope you're enjoying spring. We had a real nice dinner. My mom and I got honey baked ham. We love that. And just had a really nice dinner. We went for a hike during the afternoon because it was really nice weather out. And we actually took a wrong turn on the hike, and we ended up going a different way than we thought we were going to be going, but it turned out fine. It was about 2.5 miles that we went, and it was really nice. We enjoyed it. We saw some pretty areas in our subdivision called Sun City. This went along like a creek, and it was really pretty. So anyway, I wanted to show something that I had made a few years ago too, that I had done needle felting. This little bunny in the theme of Easter. So even though Easter's passed, I thought I would show this. I always get this guy out. Usually he sits up on one of my shelves, but I always kind of look at him at Easter time. He has these big feet and this cute tail, and his belly is actually Angora from a rabbit, from an Angora rabbit. So I think he's really cute. He was fun to make. He's kind of whimsical, a little creepy too, but I like him. So, and then another bunny I had made on my sock machine, my circular sock machine. And then I used I just made a little faux fur pom-pom out of some faux fur that I had. Just did a circle and gathered it up and made that little fuzzy tail. But yeah, and this, I cranked a tube basically and changing colors and then hanging a hem, and then later stuffed it and then stitched to get the arm definition, and then embroidered the face. And then to get the pink, I used a little bit of fabric paint and just kind of dabbed it on there with a dry brush, like you would a stencil type thing. But yeah, I think that's always a cute little bunny I get out at Easter as well. So other than that, not much has been happening. We're continuing to work on our house. We had our plantation shutters installed this week, which was so exciting because we've been waiting for those. We had ordered them, and I think it took like 6 weeks. So we've been anxious to get those in, and it made a world of difference in how our windows look. So we're really excited about that. And then I mentioned last time that I was looking for blinds for our patio, which we had enclosed with glass and screens. And we ended up purchasing outdoor curtains, But even though they're inside, we got the outdoor ones because of the UV rating, and we hung them. They go floor to ceiling on the glass, and it actually really looks nice. I think for now, it serves the purpose that we need it to. We put several panels up and we positioned them so that we could have some spots open, some spots closed, and just move them around, and they really don't block the view too much either when they're open. So that was kind of one of the goals. And actually, I like the curtains because they kind of soften the space up. So that's starting to look really nice. We actually also purchased 2 new little chairs to go out there because our patio chairs that we had before were quite large, and we felt like they were just kind of taking up a little bit too much of the space, and it was making it kind of crowded. So we have a wicker sofa out there that's a reclining sofa too that we like, and then we got these really cute chairs, and then it's like kind of going down a rabbit hole. We decided to get new tables because they're not outdoors anymore, they're indoors, even though it's an outdoor patio, but they won't get any rain or anything on them. So we got some nicer tables, and so it's really starting to look nice out there. So I will try to insert a few pictures of that so you can see that, and we're happy with that. What else? We went to a barbecue yesterday in our neighborhood, which was fun. We had new neighbors that moved in next door to us last week, so we got to spend a little bit of time with them, which was nice. And we're just surrounded by really nice neighbors, so that's good. We're very fortunate for that. And that's about it. So anyway, well, I hope that you all are having a good weekend, and I hope that you had, like I said, had a nice Easter if you celebrated, and you're enjoying spring wherever you are. Hope that you're having fun with your making. Like I said, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up and maybe leave a comment, let me know what you're working on. I know I just have enjoyed reading all that, and it's fun to see people have given me some ideas, and it's just really, really good to take part in that community aspect of this. So with that, I guess I'll end it, and I will see you probably in 2 weeks. I do have a week of travel. I'm going to Chicago for a week, so my next video may be delayed a little bit longer than 2 weeks, but we'll see. I'm going to try to get it in. So, all right. Well, until then, take care, have fun, and stay safe. Lead with kindness, and enjoy your knitting. Thank you. Bye-bye.